Hey, thanks for checking out my channel. Appreciate you watching this video. Today we're going to do a review and an unboxing of a fruit crusher. This is the EJ Walks fruit crusher. It does 1.8 gallons of fruit, but as you can see from the hopper here, super easy to load more fruit in here. So we're going to assemble this, unbox it, assemble it. I got mine off of Amazon. At the time of this video, it was 151 bucks. Off of Amazon to get this part. So here's what we're going to need. You're going to need a Phillips screwdriver. Phillips screwdriver is what you'll need. You'll need a 10 millimeter wrench. You'll need two of them. So two 10 millimeters. I'm going to use a socket. And then you'll also need a 5/16 end wrench. And that'll be all you'll need. And then a knife to open up the box. So we're going to set... Well, let's just start. Let's dig into this. Let's see what happens. Okay, so I am going to move this off onto the ground so it's out of the way. All right, so you get instruction manual. Another box. This box has the hopper in it, which we'll open in a second. The crank, a bunch of small little screws, the wood piece to go across the top, and then the base unit with all the teeth. All right, so let's open up. We'll open up this box now. All right, so what I would do is I would set the crank aside. We'll set the wood piece aside. You won't need the 10 millimeters yet or the 5/16 yet. All you're going to need to start is the Phillips screwdriver. And the instructions aren't that helpful. That's why we have this video. All right, so you're going to pull out these pieces, these stainless steel pieces. Two of them are going to be the same. So you'll have two of each set. So that's the four sides. And then you'll have three smaller pieces. Okay, we're going to start by opening up the bag for all the little screws. All right, you're going to see on these metal pieces that there is a nut that's already been attached to it. You get a close-up of it right here. So there's a nut that's attached. So when you set these together, you're going to start with two pieces, the one with the two slots in it, and then the one with a lot more slots in it. You're going to start with these two pieces. What you're going to do is set it, so the one with the nut right here, see that? That's going on the underneath side. So when you put the screw in, the nut is not visible. So just for this side angle right here, if you're doing it like this, that's not right. You don't want a space between. It needs to go this way. All right, and then the other thing is this needs to go facing in. All right, so let's grab a couple of screws. Try not to lose them. This should go pretty quick. Okay, you'll grab your screws. So I got one screw here. This is set up. In fact, it might just be easier just to start with your finger to get it finger tight. Then you're going to line up the holes. And that's where you're going to put your first screw in. I personally really like this Cobalt screwdriver. Get them from Lowe's. I'm not a huge Lowe's fan, but I do like getting this from Lowe's. And the reason why I like it so much is because it ratchets. So it continues to drive it in, which is useful when we have 20 little screws we're putting in. All right, so you'll notice on this first one that I put in and this second one, I don't have it all the way tight yet. And the reason why is you want to make sure there's a little bit of play so all the screws are together first. So that is not all the way tight yet. Okay, but we'll tighten it down after. The next one, we're going to grab the other side piece. It's going to sit on the inside. Grab a screw here. Get it started by hand. Oh, didn't quite get started. Okay, so one other tip here. If you'll notice the angle, my screwdriver is not straight in like this. It has to go down at an angle. Okay, once you have a couple of sides on, then the screws will go together a lot better. Because it kind of holds itself up. It's kind of freestanding. When it's not freestanding, it's a little more difficult. All right, so now you can see the hoppers starting to come together. Again, this is not fully tight. We're going to tighten them down after. Okay, next one. This one's going to go over because the nuts are on the inside there. So this is going to go over. Grab a couple more screws here. You can see it's already going easier. It's going a lot faster already just because it's not trying to fall over. So if you had a second person helping you, that would go even faster. All right. All right, then we have two on this side. You're going to like how fast this goes together. Its instructions aren't very useful, but once you get the hang of it, it kind of assembles itself. All the screws are the same size, which is nice. Okay, so it's still not totally tight, but now our hopper is almost done. So you have two pieces that are identical. Those will be the two pieces that go on next. The way these will go, they're going to go on the inside. Let me show you on this side here. It's going to go here. These two are going to go on there. And then this is important. This goes on the inside, right there. This does not go on the outside because this has a nut already on it. So it has to go on the inside there. Inside there and there. Keep using more screws. This one has 4 screws that'll need to go in. I put the ones in the bottom in first, just because the angle I think is harder to get right. And so you have a little more play if you don't have other screws already holding it back. There we go. Again, not all the way tight yet. We'll tighten all of them after we get the whole thing assembled. Okay, you got one on each side here. Okay. Then you put the other one on, same thing, just on the other side. So I'll flip this around. Remember, it goes on the inside. Grab 2 screws, start on the bottom, and now it's just rinse and repeat from the last time. Okay, that's looking good. And this is why it's important that you don't have them all really tight yet, because if it's all too tight and it's not square, then you're going to have a hard time getting the screw to set in properly. Since mine's not all tight, I can move it around as I need to. Push it out with my thumb a little. There we go. Now I like to use a hand screwdriver for this. I have a lot of power tools, but when it's really small, tight work like this, I don't want to over tighten it or break anything. So I will say this right now, just pause for a second. This seems to be really well constructed. The steel is considerably thick, so it doesn't just bend and warp real easily. So this looks like a pretty high quality product that I can see so far. I think it's going to last a long time. All right, so the last piece you have is this one right here. You'll notice that on the hopper, there's only one side with 2 holes. None of the other sides have that. So this is going to sit right there. And then this obviously goes on the outside over there. So let's grab a screw. Oops. Better grab that before I lose it forever. Okay, so get this lined up where you want it. Grab a screw. Get it started by hand. Screw it in. Again, not all the way tight. Just trust me, save yourself some time. Not trying to force it. Just get it started. Don't tighten it all the way down. Okay, we are getting there. All right, so there are 2 screws that are left. The hopper is assembled, but there's 2 screws because on this side over here, there's spots for them. There must be another attachment or something, so it's not necessary. I put them in anyway. That way, if I lose a screw or something, I know I have a spare. So now that we have all these in, I'm going to put these 2 spares all the way in and tighten all of them down. All the screws down. I'm going to start with the base and then work my way up. Okay, so now let's just tighten the whole thing down. This is where I like the ratcheting part of it. You can hear it ratcheting to tighten it. I'm just going snug. Snug and then just a hair. And then I'm also doing all of them on the same face, and then I'll turn it 90 degrees and just do one side at a time. Okay, this one's just going to have 2. Okay. And we are on our last screw. Okay. So that's all of our screws. Next, let's get the body, the base ready here for you. You're going to notice on the base, there's these right here. This is what's going to hold the hopper on right there. So let me just show you what's going to happen. The side that has this little pocket, that's going to go above these gears. So the pocket is going to sit right on those gears like that. And then you'll see on this side right here, you'll have to move this to the side so it sits down. And then you're going to move those and then tighten this, and that's what's going to hold the hopper on. Okay? And this is where you're going to need the 10 millimeter wrench. So let's grab this. They come a little loose. I'm not going to tighten them all the way down. I'm just going to get them close, and I'll show you why. First thing, though, I just want to get them close. And I'm not really worried about if it's in the right spot right now. I'm just trying to get it close. Okay, so the hopper, you don't want it grinding this edge against that edge or against that edge. So let me show you what I mean by that. If I adjust this, see here, see how you can adjust how the hopper sits. So if I move it over, that's touching right there. You don't want it touching. So make sure you set it so this is not touching right there. So I'm going to adjust it how I want with these loose. This one might be a little tight. Okay, so I'm going to get it where I want it, just moving it around on the hopper there, looking down the gears, making sure they're not touching anything, and then you can just use your hand and twist this and just look to see, okay, is it too close to one side? Okay, give yourself a little bit more space. Should be able to have about a 1/16 between everything. Okay, I like where that's at now. Now I'm going to tighten it down and make sure that these little flaps are and hold it tight. Okay. Check everything, make sure it hasn't moved. Looking good. Okay. Now let's test with our hand to see. Yeah, that's looking really good. So if you can see right here, as you twist it, it's not touching here, or there, or there, or anywhere over there. Okay, so now we're getting close here. We just have the crank left. Well, the wood piece just sits on top. That's just so you don't put your hand all the way in while you're setting the apples in. We have the crank. It's shrink wrapped. This is where the 5/16 comes in. You'll need to loosen it up. You'll need to loosen it up quite a bit, as you can see right there. And then I have the fast ratchet on. Okay, then you'll set the crank on. Then you'll ratchet it down. Oops. and then it'll find, you want to make sure you get it right in the right hole. I'm not going to tighten it all the way down because I'm going to show you another trick I have. But now you're set. So now as you crank it, I'll take this off so you can see it better in here. Now as you crank it, it's going to grab anything in there and just pull it down to the bottom and just crush it. Okay, so now let me show you my trick. You're going to love this. This is going to save you a lot of time. So let's pull this off. We're not going to use this right now. Okay, set the crank to the side, grab your trusty drill, and now watch. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. That'll save yourself a lot of hand cranking. All right, so let's put this on, and then we'll be done. And store this how you like. Oops, this way. All right, that's just there to set that. All right, so here's the final review for it. Overall, it feels like it's very high quality. Okay, so final thoughts. Overall, it feels like it's really high quality. The hopper seems really durable. It's strong. I like that they have this wood piece here so you don't accidentally put your hand in while somebody else is cranking. This gives you plenty of space up here that you can just drop apples or other fruit in and crank away. The way you're going to use this is you're going to set it on top of a bucket or something, and it has some rubber feet here. You'll set it on a bucket, and then as you grind it, it'll crush the fruit down to the bottom, and then you'll transfer that into your press or whatever you're using it for. So overall, I think this is going to be a great investment. I'm excited to have some, I'm going to use this to crush the fruit, and then we're going to make some cold pressed apple cider, and I'll do that in the next video. So thanks for watching. I really appreciate it.